The Deal News Podcast, episode 248 for February 27th. PS4, more like PS SNORE. Am I right? Am I right? Am I right? Right? I'm joined by Lewis and Dan. Hey, fellas.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, guys.
How's it going?
Good. It's going well.
You sure? Even after that joke?
No, not really.
No, I know.
I was just trying to be nice for our audience.
Thank you for lying.
You're welcome. I'm here to help you.
If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all.
Yeah, if you don't have anything nice to say, pull up a chair.
Especially when it comes to me. Only say nice things about me. All right, look, before we get going with the big stories of the week, we do have some listener mail. This one was written in by Alex P. He says, you guys have mentioned Google Glasses on a number of your podcasts, but with my farsightedness, parentheses, I can maybe focus on something 3 or 4 feet away, and astigmatism, how am I going to see anything that's perhaps an inch or 2 away from my eye? Even my reading glasses focus at about 18 inches. Unless, of course, the design includes an extension rod you attach to your current glasses, and Google Glasses then project onto the screen at the end.
A little ruler.
Yeah. Now there's a pretty picture, especially if you attempt to wear them as you blunder around the house hitting walls. Maybe you have insight on the design that will get around that little focus issue. I didn't find anything in my online search that referenced it. Best, Alex P. And that's a good point.
That was a very good point. I didn't even think about people that had eyesight problems.
Right? I just figured that I would like to wear them since I already wear glasses. It would be a natural fit, but wouldn't it be like absolutely ironic if you had to have perfect vision in order to wear the Google Glasses?
Yeah.
You know, totally like turning everyone into a glasses-wearing nerd like me. Finally, equality. But I don't know. Maybe it's like have you ever gone to like an observatory or had a telescope at home and you look through the eyepiece and you focus it on the moon or whatever, and then someone else takes over and they have to refocus it because they wear glasses, and it's easier to focus it when you take your glasses off and put your eye like right up next to it. So you're using their lenses to focus on it. So maybe there's something that can be done with the focus of the projection. Well, I think I just answered my own question. The telescope has its own lenses, which you're focusing, whereas this is projecting essentially what it thinks is a clear image onto that piece of glass. So if you can't focus that closely,
there's got to be a way around that. I'm sure they've thought of it. I mean, so basically, if you can't see things up close, Google Glasses aren't going to work for you.
Right.
So there has to be some sort of something where you're not looking, where the image isn't like this close to you.
Right.
I'm guessing when you look at it, the image isn't going to feel like the heads up.
It's not going to feel that close.
It's not going to feel that close. It's going to feel maybe more like this,
Right.
Yeah, I don't know enough about how the human eye works to know, because from everything we've seen, there was even a new video about Google Glasses, so that ties nicely into what I was going to talk about anyway. But from this new video that we've seen, it looks like there's a screen hovering like out here from you. It's not like right up next to your eye,
Right.
So like you're looking around and you see this box floating off, and clearly that's done by kind of playing around with depth perception and the projection of it onto that piece of glass that's hovering in front of your eyeball. It makes it look like it's farther away. But I don't know enough about the lens of the eye and how that's projected to know if it will actually fit all eye types.
I wonder if it has a built-in focusing device.
Right? How do you focus it?
Exactly.
I mean, there has to be some way of focusing it, because not everyone's going to be able to focus that closely.
Right. It's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
Right.
Or maybe it is. Maybe they figure, well, it fits people with normal eyes and people with nearsightedness. Sorry, farsightedness people. I mean, but that would be really terrible.
Yeah, that's not smart marketing.
No, but maybe it's just a limitation of the hardware. Maybe they can't. I don't know. I'm going to definitely continue investigating this and look to see if there's any sort of explanation for how it's going to work for people with messed up eyes like you and I, Alex P.
Right.
Because it would be really weird if they came out with a product that like a whole swath of the country just couldn't use,
Right. I mean, even us with glasses, how would we put it on top?
Right.
Like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I wonder if they would. I mean, obviously, the ones that we've seen currently already come with a set of glasses with them.
Yeah.
But
It's just kind of like a frame, yeah.
Yeah, it's like a frame, like one of those kind of gag frames you would buy at the store.
Right.
But I'm wondering if future models will actually be something that clips on to the existing arm of your glasses.
That
and
would
then,
look ugly.
I know it'd be like this big blob, kind of like those Oakley MP3 glasses,
Yeah,
where they got
those.
that big like tumor-sized thing at the end of the deal back there.
See, I don't know about you, but the glasses that I wear, I mean, even though they're chunky, they're not like heavy weight. If I were to hang a weight from it, I mean, they're gonna like, tip and stuff. Like you have to have glasses that are designed to hold that up, and I think Google Glasses does that by designing the computer into the arms so that the weight is like focused there rather than a point weight here, which is what it would be if you attach it on. I know that you would have something that attaches behind your head and then just comes forward or something, or it comes with croquis,
Oh, good Lord. Yeah, you need those.
I think the first step, though, or the best step is really that they're going to pair with a frames maker and say, oh, well, this is...
Which they have. I don't know if you heard, but...
did they?
Do you know they're in talks apparently with Warby Parker? Warby Parker is going to design their not the first generation, but possibly the second generation.
Really?
All right.
Yeah.
Warby Parker, they're kind of like a hoity-toity hipster brand, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that's one way to describe them. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you wear Warby Parkers?
No, I don't.
Okay, I didn't
The
mean
ones
to
that
like...
like you buy a pair and they donate a pair to someone in need. That's Warby.
Well, that's
Oh,
cool.
that's not who I'm thinking of then. That's not. I was thinking of this. I saw this page once. It was like this hipster brand glasses, and they actually make recreations of old ugly glasses and sell them as.
That is them.
Oh, is it?
Oh, well, there you go.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well,
They recreate like old styles, is what they say.
right. No, this person was recreating bad styles. So I don't know.
I'm surprised they didn't go with an Oakley or a Ray-Ban or somebody who's got some clout.
Yeah.
Well, then again, they would have to pay the licensing for that. So maybe they find somebody who's not as hardcore that they can partner with, who really wants to push their brand.
Yeah, and that's one of the things about Warby Parker, that it's supposed to be like $100 for the glasses with the lens. So
oh wow,
it's a cheap price.
Yeah, that's not the company I'm thinking of then, because these were not $100 with the lens.
Yeah, these are cheap.
So yeah, and Warby Parker then makes sense if they're also donating. That's a very Google thing to do.
Yeah.
Those guys.
Yeah.
Those donating guys over at Google. Oh, you think you're better than me? Donating glasses. But yeah, this does tie into. Did you watch the new video that was out there?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Essentially, it's if you remember the original video, it was like everything was across the top. Now it looks like there's just like one box floating out here, and the main selling points were, of course, like hands-free picture taking. So you would be like, I guess the keyword is OK glass. So you start everything by saying OK glass. It's like OK glass, take a picture. OK glass, start a hangout, and then you get the video bubble out there. It does show people having a lot of fun, doing a lot of exciting things. Did it
Jumping out of planes?
Jumping out of planes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I really want a pair of these glasses. I did want them. I want them even more now after seeing that, and realize that my life will never equal up to the things that they were showing.
They need to show the next videos to just show people like in front of a computer wearing or someone at home watching TV, eating,
I'll tell you, if they did do a video like that, I bet it would sell more glasses, because the majority of people would be like, well, how does this integrate into my life? I'm clearly not going ballooning every weekend or every day.
Right.
I'm not jumping out of a plane every other second.
You're not fencing. You're not
Right.
But you know what? I am sitting down and watching Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, and maybe you can show me how. Oh, let me just close that window into my personal life. Sorry. And show me how it would integrate with the things that I like to do. Which is sitting and watching things. Then I think that might sell. These things are going to sell like hotcakes anyway.
Oh, absolutely.
You can now have a chance of buying them. It's a two-step process. You have to, I guess, I don't know, is it still going on? I think it's still going on for like another couple of weeks. If you tweet or Facebook something with the hashtag if I had glass, and tell Google what you would do if you had glasses. They're gonna review all these submissions and choose a few people that will use their glass to further promote the brand, I guess. But they won't just give it to you. If you're chosen, you can then opt to pay $1,500 for the glasses.
Right.
So it's a two-step process. You have to be selected, and then you have to. It's like college. You have to apply and then pay a lot of money for this.
Well, it sounds like you're paying $1,500 to be their beta tester.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, who wants to do that?
Oh, I would.
You'd pay $1,500 for those glasses.
If I had that kind of disposable income, yeah, I sure would. Wow. Just to be the guy that. Well, I mean, I would be so embarrassed to wear them outside, so I really would just wear them around the house. But
you'd be standing in the hallway.
Yeah, I wish I had something big. Like if you guys were going to try and convince them to send you a pair of glasses, what would you do? Like your hashtag, if I had glass. What would? I can't think of. Like I don't do anything.
I don't know what I'd do with it.
You could do the zombie run thing.
Oh, there you go.
That would be awesome.
That's a great idea.
That would be very cool.
If I had glass, I'd do the zombie run. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
I'd do something on the boat. Something on the boat. I don't know what, but like, you know.
I would go find the Titanic. I don't know if they work underwater, but
I was about to say that for scuba diving.
You just need to get a diving helmet. For it, and then you'll be all right. Maybe hashtag if I had glass, I would show you how mundane a man's life could be. I don't know. These
Google
mushrooms
Glass for the everyman.
Or these mushrooms. This lettuce or this lettuce.
Here's my banana plant.
Yeah. I just stare at it for a really, really long time.
Wow, you see this. I honestly, though, I'm kind of excited about this because really, this, like we talked about it, was it last week or 2 weeks ago? About this is like the first step towards the golden age of implants, in the sense of like having something implanted in your eye or implanted, in your head that would correspond and have some little pop-up window out here that you could look at or something. I don't know. It's really exciting technology, but man, I just don't know what I would do with it.
Right. Yeah, that's just it. Like I would think I would use it all the time, but much like a digital camera, it's only useful if you have it on you. And what are the chances that whenever I go out, to go shopping or whatever, I'm going to think, well, let me wear my Google glasses instead.
I'd be afraid to wear them, to be honest, because so many people are stealing iPhones left and right, Android phones left and right, and now these Google glasses are just going to stick out. You know what I mean? I mean, like please come mug me.
Yeah. Well, I guess like what really has to happen is, like I said, they have to get so small and compact that they fit in just a regular pair of glasses. So I could be wearing them now, and you would never know.
Right.
Secretly recording your conversations.
And then that's another thing. That's going to bring up that whole privacy issue. Is like, hey, I'm sure people are going to get annoyed or try to sue someone once they find out, oh, this guy over here has Google glasses and has been filming me the entire time, and
is it admissible in court?
Right. It's going to open up a whole kind of worms in that sense. But I am excited about them too. I would definitely get a pair if I had the money.
Yeah. Maybe we can somehow expense this. I don't know.
Let's do that. We need 3 pairs of glasses.
Exactly. Hashtag if I had Google, all 3 of us would wear them and podcast. Is that enough?
We would promote them online because people listen to us.
Right. Yeah, we're going up against people who are going to be doing like open heart surgery while wearing them.
Ooh, that would be a good one. That would be a good one to
do. Could you
we should
imagine?
just say we would do open heart surgery. And then,
I mean, we could.
Right.
Just don't try this at home, kids.
All right, the big news of this week. Don't know if you saw it, but there was a PlayStation announcement. Sony took to the stage in New York at 6 p.m. last week to announce that they have a new console coming, dubbed creatively the PlayStation 4.
Nice.
To follow up on the PlayStation 3.
That was a surprise.
Yeah, very, very surprising. I thought that they would diverge from the path that they've been on for the last 20 years.
Yes.
What did you guys think? Did you hear anything about this major announcement? What were the things that stuck out most for you?
I was actually really psyched about the announcement because I was sure. I was 100% sure they were going to show off a console, and they were like, "All right, guys, this is going to be out in by the summer or something like that."
Right.
I was expecting to see a console, at least an early prototype or something like that.
Instead,
boy, was I let down.
what did you get instead, Lewis?
Nothing, absolutely nothing. I mean, what did they say? They basically said, you know what, guys, the same developers that made games for the PS3, guess what? They're gonna make games for the PS4 also. Let's all have them on stage and talk about it. That was the entire event.
They didn't show a mock-up. They didn't show anything.
Nope.
No pricing, no availability. Well, they did say it would be available before the end of the year.
Right.
But, no pricing.
Oh, no, they nailed it down
like.
more specific than that.
Oh, they give it
holiday 2013.
Oh,
Holiday.
well, there you go.
So, it won't be like December 31st. We're talking like, December 24th instead. So, just knock off a whole week off of Wondering. But, yeah, no, they didn't show even like a prototype of what the case will look like. The only hardware they showed was the new DualShock 4 controller.
Right.
Which the upgrades to that is in the middle. There's going to be like a touch panel, so you can interact much like a touchpad on a laptop, and like a share button, I guess, right? So what do you do with that, Lewis? You push it?
Yeah, this is the point I didn't really get. So you basically push it, and you could record the last 10 seconds. I guess, so the PS4 is going to have some sort of like caching system where, like if you beat some boss or some level, whatever, and afterwards you're like, crap, I want to record that and post it on Facebook or tweet it or whatever, you hit the share button, and it'll easily, let you do that and just tweet it or post it away.
So it's kind of like a black box, so that if your console crashes, Sony will know what happened in the.
That too. It could be used for that, right?
And also, I guess you can push that button, and I think it's hooked in with Ustream, so you can actually like live stream the game that you're playing.
Oh.
So that your friends can watch you play, because there's nothing more exciting than watching someone play a game.
Right.
I mean, that's sometimes it is kind of fun to watch someone play a game, especially if you hate playing the game but want to see what happens.
But you would want to be there in the room with the person playing the game. I don't want to be in like my house watching, on a laptop someone else playing. I'm like,
I don't want to watch someone in Argentina playing.
While wearing my Google glasses.
Walking around watching your friend play on YouTube.
Running into walls.
And the other update to the handheld is that it will actually function as a PlayStation Move controller. So you no longer need the wand. You can actually just use the 6-axis or whatever you want to call it for that.
So are either of you very excited about this? Because I'm like absolutely underwhelmed.
No.
This made me more excited about the Ouya, to be honest with you. It really did. I'm more excited about that. I mean, I think right now, really, the ball's in Microsoft's court. So, E3 is coming up in June, I think. And, by June, Sony should have something and be like, hey, you know what? Here's some more concrete details on the PS4. If not, it's all on Microsoft. It's all in Microsoft's court.
All Sony would have to share at E3 is the look of the thing. And at this point, I feel like the announcement was so underwhelming. I mean, yeah, it's an upgrade to the internal hardware of it. Things are going to run faster. They're going to look prettier, but we expected that.
Right.
The only addition they added were like social features with the sharing and the linking to Facebook and everything. And I think that's kind of been received as kind of like expected and kind of mediocre. So unless they come through at E3 with a design that will like wow us, like it's also like a riding mower or something, then I mean this is just Microsoft and Xbox's game to win.
Right,
essentially.
exactly.
Like,
it's all theirs.
All they have to do is write a better keynote address that makes it seem like their device does more than Sony did, and show a box, and they've won.
Right.
Now, do you think this was a failed attempt on their part to sort of generate hype?
Yeah.
I do too. I mean, just in reading it and all the information that's out, it's almost like it reminds me of one of those old snake oil salesman things from like back in the day. It's like, step right up and take a look at this here. This is all the miracle things it's going to do, and then but there's nothing.
Yeah,
it's
they
like,
really. I don't know.
They could have saved all that money and like cut the price, I think, on.
Yeah. Oh, that's the other thing. When asked, like the CEO of Sony USA or PlayStation Sony USA was like, "I hope it doesn't cost $5.99."
Right. That's not a very good answer.
Wow.
Well, me too. I really do. But the PlayStation 3 that cost $5.99, and we all said that was going to be the end of Sony, and they somehow managed to ride it out. So if they do $5.99 again. Yeah, maybe.
He didn't happen to work
work
at
so.
Netflix, did he, by chance?
Yeah.
It'll be fine. We'll ride it
It's
through.
all fine.
Yeah. I mean,
And they did mention some sort of cloud. Oh, that's the other thing. They didn't fully mention whether you would be able to play like your old PS3
oh no, you
on
won't
the
be.
new one. You won't be. You're only
It
going to be
is-
able to stream them via their own cloud-based. And even then, they wouldn't tell you which ones you'd be able to stream and whether you would have to pay for your back catalog. And that's
Exactly.
a huge detail they left out.
Exactly. Now,
That would be huge.
the PlayStation 3 is at this point what 10 years old, 7 years old, something like that.
About right.
So backwards compatibility, you're hoping that what's coming next is so revolutionary that it can't play it. But if you're still working at a disc-based system, yeah, maybe work something in there to give people backwards compatibility. But that's fine. But don't then say, oh, but you'll have access to an online catalog of games through PlayStation Cloud. We don't know what titles. We don't know how many titles. We don't know how much you're going to pay or anything like that. Like Lewis said, it's kind of taking away everyone's back catalog and replacing it with a huge question mark at this point.
Yes.
And now, will Xbox be any different? Probably not. I mean, that is definitely 10 years old by the time another one's going to come out. Who knows? And now maybe if they're looking at PlayStation and be like, well, they got away with it. We don't need to make it backwards compatible.
right.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. For me, it took me like 6 years of the Xbox 360 being out before I got one. So,
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I'm not really in a rush to buy one of the next generation consoles. Like I just got it like a couple years ago, But what about you guys? I mean, Lewis, you said the Ouya is interesting. But
Yeah, it's sounding more and more better for me to be more and more interesting for me. Like when the first Xbox came out, I was still a pretty big gamer at the time. I got it like the weekend it came out. Even when the 360 came out, I bought it pretty rapidly. But then slowly I started getting a little bit tired of the same games, this and that. And right now I find myself playing a ton of games on my iPhone. As sad as it sounds, I just discovered Plants vs. Zombies because it was free.
What? Because it was free.
Because it was free. You know how I am with those apps.
Wow.
And now I'm hooked on that, and I'm thinking like, all right, so if Ouya brings those kind of games to like a little console that I could hook up to my TV, oh man, for $100 I would totally buy it. I would absolutely buy it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Something, especially like Plants vs. Zombies is good because you can I actually like it more on the tablet because you can tap. When it was on the computer, like mousing around and clicking was a little too much.
Yeah, I'm wondering how tricky that would be, yeah.
Yeah, so like Plants vs. Zombies with a controller may not work, but all the other games that are for a tablet or a phone now, where I'm like, this could really benefit from a couple trigger buttons and whatever, now bring that to Ouya and it's the best of both worlds for $100,
Right.
I don't know. What about you, Dan? Which of these three platforms are the most?
And let's not forget Valve and Steam, the Steam box.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, that's right. They're kind of the dark horse
Right.
in this whole deal. Well, for me, I'm still a diehard PC gamer, so I have not made the jump to any platform yet. I have played some Nintendo, all right, this is going to date me again. Once like some old Nintendo 64 stuff back in the day, and
I thought you were going to say the Nintendo playing cards from like back in like 1940 when they made them. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play Pog a lot, so that's always good. But yeah, there hasn't been anything that has come out that has made me go, wow, this is going to make me give up my mouse and keyboard and jump right on that bandwagon. I don't know whether it's because I'm so entrenched in using the keyboard and mouse, like for first-person shooters, and I've tried to use the Xbox, like when Halo 4 came out, and was it Halo 3? I can't remember.
The last one was 4, I think, yeah.
The last one was 4? Okay, yeah. When Halo 4 came out, it was like I've tried it and trying to get used to the controller, but I don't know. I think I would be more interested, kind of like what you guys were saying, in the stuff that's already out there for the tablets. Yeah. Like, I really dig using my Kindle Fire HD, and Plants vs. Zombies is amazing on Angry Birds is fun because it's a larger picture, but I think the Ouya is going to be the one to beat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I especially think from a budget conscious tact on this whole thing. I mean, you have the Ouya, which is $99 to begin with.
Right.
You get a controller and you get to play all of the tablet games on the screen. And if you want to play, because let's see, they're not really going to port like Halo over to it or like the really maybe after a while, but you'll still want to play some of the bigger budget first person shooter games. And maybe you should go for a PC for that because you wait like 6 months and those things are discounted by half. You wait another month and it's by 3/4, and then a year later you're getting last year's titles for $5. So the cheapest way to do this to get all the games across all platforms is to get an Ouya, and because you don't have to pay for cell service, so it's like getting the games for a cell phone but without having to pay for service, and go PC gaming on it as well. You get everything. I think.
So what about you, Jeff? Is there any desire to move up to the PlayStation 4?
No, I never really liked PlayStation. I mean, when it first came out, it was too expensive, and I'm gonna have to wait and see what happens with this one. But I can't even say that I'm invested in Xbox at this point because I'm not really invested in a console.
Did you stop playing altogether Xbox, Jeff, or?
For the most part, like I have a game that I play here and there, but it's never like, oh, quitting time to turn on the Xbox.
Right.
I honestly use the Xbox more to watch videos from Amazon Prime because it can stream through that now. So I really do that. So I have this current generation gaming console, which is essentially just a video streamer.
Yeah, see, so that's interesting because I wonder if the new generation of gamers, or even the gamers out there right now, are people still gaming the way they used to, like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, where you would sit down, for like 2 hours, 4 hours, and just play straight through a game? Or are people just now so used to like picking up their smartphone or their tablet, playing Angry Birds for like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, putting it down, doing something else? And I guess what I'm asking is, has the way people played games, has that changed now?
That's a very good question.
And is that pretty much going to hurt consoles and help consoles like the Ouya and maybe like Valve, who like they're going to have these like very quick little games that you can play for like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, then do something else, as opposed to like Halo 4, where like once you start playing that, you get into it, you're going to play for 2 hours straight.
7 hours later, you realize that you really need to use the bathroom.
I need to eat.
Yeah. Or I mean, I was going to agree with you, but then I was thinking, well, maybe it's just that we've changed. Like hardcore gaming for me is kind of what you do when, I don't know, when you're in college or you still live with your parents or just after you graduate, and you have a lot of downtime to not do anything, and then you get older, you have more things that take up your time, and you just don't want to sit there and like play 7 hours of a game, or your wife is home and you can't play 7 hours of a game, so you have to wait until like she goes away and then you can play 9 hours of a game at a time. This hasn't happened to me at all, but I don't know. I think maybe we just can't. We think it's going away because we've grown out of it. I don't know. There are probably kids out there that still do marathon gaming sessions, and there's going to be a whole new generation that goes through this evolution again.
Well, you've got to look at it too. I mean, honestly, if the gaming profile of people has changed, I think we would have seen a dramatic decrease in the starting prices of games. Like, when a new game comes out, that's like, it's still like $60.
70, 67.
And that's crazy. I mean, that's I remember buying, what was the last actual full price game I think I bought? Wow. It would have to be, I think, Doom 3 when it first came out, and I was all excited about that. I built my computer specifically for that game. But the sad part was then it was outdated by the time the game came out.
Right.
Which really sucked.
You built it in anticipation.
I followed their specs, and then like 2 days before it was released, oh yeah, we needed to upgrade to like a faster processor and more memory. Oh, great, thanks. Thanks, guys. But I think if that was true, Lewis, I think we would see those games drop in price to be more attractive, like the $29, $30, or even the $20 price line for a brand new game to entice more people to go console.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have blockbuster releases of Halo 4. Which is not a casual game in any sense. You're sitting down for long sessions with that.
And on the other end of the spectrum, if you'll notice, some of the more, well, I guess if you want to call them blockbuster games for the iOS and Android are starting to creep up there in price, like $4.99 for a game.
They are.
Well, did you see that?
$5.99?
What is it? Final Fantasy something came out for iOS, and I think it's like $15.
Whoa!
Oh, snap!
Yeah,
seriously?
the Final Fantasy series wants to make inroads into iOS and those kind of gamers, but they don't want to devalue their games because they still are developing high-end games for like the PlayStation 3s and 4s and Xboxes and whatever.
Right.
So they want to raise the price of their apps for the like a handheld console so that it doesn't devalue everything. So I think it is like $15 or maybe even like 20 for some.
Would you ever pay that much for a game?
If I really liked Final Fantasy that much and I wanted to play it again mobily,
Man, I can't see myself kicking down $15 for.
I think 10 would be my max. I think the more
Really?
games I play, I'm starting to like up what I'll spend for it because I'm realizing some games you buy for like $1, and then there's so many in-app purchases where you're like, man, this game's pretty much useless. So I'd rather pay like $5 or a maximum of 10. And I don't think I've ever done. No, I've never paid 10 for any app.
Yeah.
But like I would go up as high as 10. But give me the full game. Don't give me any like in-app purchases or stuff like that. I want the full game.
Right.
Yeah, along those
$15,
same lines, I'm almost to the point where I don't download free games anymore because I just know that I'm gonna like immediately hit a wall that I need to make an in-app purchase for to continue playing the game, and it's no fun, But would I pay $10? I don't know. But they set the bar there so that maybe the next generation of gamers will think that it's a legitimate enough platform that they will pay $15 for it. And it is a legitimate enough platform. It's just,
and think about it, like if you're a parent, would you rather pay for your kids $15, iOS or Android game, or would you rather pay $70 for their Xbox or PS3, PS4 game?
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean the state of gaming is changing, and I think it's all too clear in that the internet gave a big yawn to a PlayStation 4.
That's for sure. That is for sure.
But then again, maybe it's just because it was more of the same. I don't know. We're just going to have to wait and see what happens when it's released. If it's greeted with open arms as like a wonderful update to the system they currently have, or if it's greeted like the PlayStation 3 was, which was kind of like, it's a little too expensive, but I am a PlayStation fan, so I'll buy it, type of thing. And then it's able to stick around enough and gain enough momentum and have maybe one or two really flagship titles that keep people going to it rather than Xbox.
It's got to be something pretty exciting, I'll tell you that. I mean, if it comes out and is like Microsoft Bob or something like that. And for those of you who don't know what that is, just Google it.
It's fun.
It's I'm just afraid that maybe it's just me because I'm not such a huge console gamer, but it almost kind of feels like they're ramping up to jump the shark.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels weird to have a huge press conference and not deliver anything other than words.
I agree 100%.
So maybe I'm just being a skeptical Sally or something.
Right.
But,
I've been prophesizing the end of Sony for years, essentially since they released the PlayStation 3, and it was like way overpowered and way overpriced, and I was like, no one's gonna buy this thing, and yet I was proven wrong. Enough people.
No, but look at it this way: Microsoft has had the lead in console gaming since forever. Why? Because maybe this PS3 was too expensive. That's my guess. Maybe because they have like Xbox has exclusives, Sony has exclusives, but at the end of the day, there's, I think, maybe few games that that aren't whatchamacallit,
to a platform.
To a platform, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's also hubris on Sony's part, thinking that like, oh well, we can do the same thing with the PlayStation 4 as we do with the PlayStation 3 because we'll have enough people hanging around that we'll be able to make it through. But maybe that's a false assumption. Maybe all those people are like, look, I did it once. I'm not doing it again.
Been there, done that.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's a very rapidly shifting space. All of a sudden, it seems like like the Ouya comes out, and there's the PlayStation 4 is a yawn. We have to wait and see what Xbox does. I think it might kind of hinge all on the Xbox. If they come out with something that is kind of impressive and we might want to buy, then we may be saying, all right, look, console gaming isn't really dead. But if they come out with, if they do their best and come out with something that's yawn-worthy, then maybe it's time for the consoles to step aside and people like Ouya and
exactly. That's what I'm thinking, to be honest. That's what I'm thinking, and I'm thinking my prediction for the Xbox, which isn't really that big of a prediction anyway. I think they're gonna go all into like the whole media hub. They're gonna push for that like 100%. They're gonna probably push more for that than for the games.
Yeah. Will it be enough to keep people going to it, or will they be, ticking off their core fans that still use it for gaming? But I mean, we saw like a story saying that the majority of people use it more for media streaming than for gaming than ever before. I think more people use it for media streaming than they do for gaming even. So maybe they'll chase that core audience, but you still need the gaming audience as well, I don't know. I mean, and if you're not going to chase the gaming audience, then just release a set-top streaming box. Like buy up a lot of Rokus.
Which was a rumor.
Oh yeah, that's true. They were going to do that. So
Xbox Lite, whatever it was called.
Right. They just buy up a lot of Rokus and write Xbox on the top in crayon.
Put a sticker over it.
Right. Hey, the sticker comes off. What does this say underneath it? No, Xbox Coup. X Pro.
X Coup.
I don't know. Don't look behind the curtains. All right, guys, that about ends the time we have allotted to the show. So,
oh my gosh, we can't even talk about the horse meat?
No. Nope. Listeners and viewers, you're going to have to look that one up for yourself.
Wow. Very sad.
But I do want to thank you guys for joining me.
Well, thanks. We want to thank you for having us.
My pleasure.
Again.
Listeners, for links to today's stories, Twitter feeds, blog links, and more, go to our show notes page. Also, feel free to send us feedback to podcast@dealnews.com. I'm Jeff Somogyi. Goodbye.
Goodbye.